All right, we're here with the co-CEOs of 48North Cannabis Corp. Our guest today, the very talented and lovely pair of Jeannette, VanderMarel. That's you.
That's me.
Look at you. You seem very nice. Everyone has such an open face. Alison, Gordon, you're also wonderful.
Thank you.
The two of you, I can tell you right now, I don't know anything about cannabis investing. I'm here hanging out, filling in for James. But I do know you two people seem to know what you're doing.
We do. We do. We've been at this a while.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and maybe you can help educate me. I know that a lot of the people that watch the Midas letter, they're interested investors. They want to find out backgrounds on companies. They want to see what's going on. But maybe you can talk a little bit about what's been going on at 48 North. And then I know there's been some news that we can discuss.
Yeah, we've had some great news recently. Our biggest announcements, we just released actually I'll let you talk about the financials and I'll talk about the farm. How's that?
Sure. Well, we released our second quarter financials, and we were EBITDA positive, which you're newer to the industry, and this may be surprising to you.
I do know that term.
But what you may not know is that
please.
EBITDA positive in our industry is like a rare gem.
Is it?
Yes. It is. I mean, and that's not people's faults. It's a new industry. They're still rolling out distribution, retail, the recreational market. So a lot of the speculation has been forward-looking. So
how does being EBITDA positive impact stock prices for 48 North?
Well, I mean, I think we can see this week our stock, I think, has gone up about 40% or something.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had a fantastic week.
So that's EBITDA very positive.
EBITDA very positive.
Yes. So that's great news for 48 North. EBITDA positive in Q2. Are we in Q2? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Our Q2.
Yes, our Q2.
Our Q2.
But yeah, I mean, I think the point is Jeannette and I have been saying for a long time, 48 North is focused on profitability, on innovative next generation products, on low cost organic input, which Jeannette will talk about. And so the second quarter financials are showing that we are living up to what we said we are going to be.
And Jeannette, before we get to that, but I'm just curious, like a lot of the cannabis industry, a lot of these companies, as you say, being EBITDA positive or having positive information is great for investors, but because there's so many of these companies that haven't had a positive, they're not turning profit yet. People are just buying stock based on possibilities, but as you say, 48 North living up to the promises you've made and the business plan you created.
Exactly. We saw that the industry is maturing. And the first few years, there was a lot of stock promotion, a lot of raising capital, forward looking for when there was profitability. We're focused on actually being a profitable company. Part of that is actually...
Alison laughed there. I don't know.
It's a rare thing.
It's a rare thing in this business.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're doing some really innovative stuff. Our big announcement this week that I think has already helped our stock is that we signed a landmark supply agreement with the SQDC, which is the distributor in Quebec, for 1,200 kilograms of our soon-to-be hopefully licensed, pending Health Canada's approval, 100-acre organic outdoor farm, which we believe will be the first of the licenses to grow outdoor cannabis in Canada.
Now, is that Good and Green?
So, Good and Green was a company that I co-founded.
Right.
It's been acquired by 48 North.
Okay, this is what I want to talk about, because up to this point, a lot of the growth, obviously, in the industry, the actual growing of the cannabis product is all hydroponic, it's indoor growing. But your company was still growing it outside.
Well, no. So there's been no legal.
Okay, so what I just said was completely wrong.
Completely wrong.
Okay, let's start again.
But it's right until the wording that you use.
Okay, let's try different words.
Our company is going to grow outdoor.
Okay, so Good and Green was your company.
Yes.
And then you guys got together to co-CEO this 48 North thing.
Yes. Amazing.
EBITDA positive, in case you missed that. But Good and Green wants to grow outdoors.
Correct.
Thank you.
48 North has 2 licensed sites now. It has the Delshen site, which is in Kirkland Lake, growing fantastic, top quality, state-of-the-art cannabis. Fantastic.
Amazing. Okay.
And then we have the Good and Green site, which is another indoor site in Brantford, Ontario.
All right.
We're now working with Health Canada to hopefully become one of the first licensees to grow outdoors in Canada.
So it'll be a third license.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, from a product standpoint, is that going to be something that will be promoted and as a demarcation, kind of like the organic section of the grocery store, meaning that Good and Green will be known as an outdoor, more natural product. Is that what I'm to hear? Or?
Well, Good and Green currently is growing 100% organic in our indoor facility.
Okay.
And we'll be carrying the same technology and 100% organic onto our farm.
Outdoors.
Outdoors.
Then what's the point of growing it outdoors? Because you'd think that indoors you can control the growing cycle so much more. Is there an advantage to having an outdoor?
You know, cannabis
You're nodding your head like that was a decent question.
It's a good question.
No, it's a
Thank
good
you very
question
much.
if you don't. And Jeannette is, no one is more qualified
It's a
to
good
answer
question
that.
if you're an idiot like me. Right.
So the only reason cannabis moved indoors was because it was illegal. And people were hiding it from police. And
It was illegal. When was that?
I know. How
I have
surprising.
no idea. Okay.
A little bit historic now, but it was illegal. So it moved indoors. But cannabis grows fantastically outdoors in Southern Ontario and a few other small pockets in Canada.
But and I think, sorry to interrupt you, Jeannette, is that to your question, indoor is a lot more expensive way to grow. But you are going to have a different, I hate to use the word quality, because it's not to say outdoor is a bad quality, but in terms of shelf appeal, in terms of the amount of resin that you're going to see on the buds when you look at a bud and it's all glittery. I mean, that's what you're going for.
And you can control that.
You can control that better indoor.
Absolutely. That little flake, that silvery.
Well, okay.
Okay, there's a discussion.
Nobody knows that. Here, you were right. There's cracks in the surface here.
Here's what I like about this, though, because, you know, again, we can talk investing and nuts and bolts and dollars and cents and EBITDA positive, but there's a real gap in people's understanding of this, of the growing cycle, of the efficacy of the plants. I had an interview recently on my radio show talking about, you know, being able to lock in and ensuring that the strains are what they say they are.
Right.
So quality control in this business is going to be a discussion that everyone's going to want to have.
And it is a huge part, but most of what the plant produces is directed by the genetics of the plant.
Right.
There's thousands of different cultivars, and some are best suited for outdoors, some are best suited for indoors.
That's true.
So the cannabinoid profiles, or the THC and CBD in the plant, are generally dictated by the plant. You can tweak that much indoors by adding CO2 and some other things to your growing environment, but not much difference between a greenhouse and an outdoor grow as far as your CO2 and your environmental controls.
And that's the truth. I meant to say, because indoor, it's a confusing term, but we're talking about, you know, there's sort of indoor, greenhouse, and outdoor,
right.
and greenhouse and outdoor are quite similar. But I think the important thing, you know, to share, because you're learning more about the industry, is we're moving in October 2019 to be allowed to start creating the edibles, the vapes, the creams, all of those things that you can see in the US, in Colorado and California. Those in those states make up between 60 to 70% of the sales, right? So we know this is where the market's going. People want all of these products. So what that is about is you're talking about extracting from the cannabis plant. And when you're extracting from the plant, there is nothing that makes more sense than outdoor because of the cost.
Absolutely.
Well, that's kind of what I wanted to ask. So really, from a company standpoint, you guys are CEOs, and if you want to stay EBITDA positive, cost effective is a huge thing. And so maybe the idea is to have that strain grow outdoors where you're not looking for the shelf appeal of the glittery, you know, silver, whatever that is, and to make it look pretty.
The cannabinoids.
The cannabinoids, you know. So that's a great idea.
So we have our 2 indoor facilities. We grow great indoor quality product for those dried buds. From the farm, roughly 10% will go for dried bud or cannabis. The other 90% will go for extracts. But there's no other plant-based product for extracts, whether you look at ethanol or canola oil, that we grow indoors for an extracted product.
That's a
it
good
just
point.
doesn't make sense. And we know as the market gets bigger, there will be downward pricing pressure. And the only way for us to compete, and especially in that organic market, which does give us a price premium, is growing outdoors. And I think also ecologically friendly, sustainable agriculture. And I think modern consumers really do care about that.
And people love that sun-grown outdoor. Like, there's something about that.
I think what's going to happen too, and I sort of made this joke a couple years ago, because, you know, I don't drink alcohol, but I have availed myself of as much education I can about different strains of marijuana, and I said it's almost like I'm a weed sommelier. But I'm going to say that in the future, more and more people will look for signs of demarcation. That'll be important to somebody. Absolutely. If it was grown outdoors, because they're looking for a different experience. As people become more educated to indoor, greenhouse, and outdoor, they're going to start looking for the company like yours, because that's what they're going to want.
You're absolutely right.
Well, it's also about the products that we're creating as well. So when Jeannette and I came together, part of this was that both of us were really one of a handful of female CEOs in this space. And before we acquired Good and Green and became co-CEOs, 48 North was very much focused on the female market. So creating those products that women will love. And we're still going in that direction, but we're tired of having to say we're a female-focused company. Procter and Gamble and Johnson don't have to say that; they just are. I mean, that's what's authentic to us. So I agree with you. The demarcation, not just on how is it grown sustainably, cost, all of that, but then also the products we're creating will be really unique and innovative too. So
I couldn't agree with you more. I think the time is coming, quickly, where you won't have to lean on female, focused. It's just going to be a great product grown by, smart people who are also very nice. So we learned about the EBITDA. We learned about Good and Green. Any other information that I don't have in this press release that I just kind of skimmed?
Well,
is there something else?
There's so much.
There's so much, Howard. This is what's happening.
Okay, there's a few things that are exciting for us. So we've actually had launched our accessories line, which is called Fate.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so,
I want to talk about Toyko Smoke. Yes, let's talk about that.
You can talk about Toyko Smoke. So yes, Toyko Smoke is carrying our accessories, as is the Ontario Cannabis Store. So
your accessory brand, Fate, F8, but Fate, what is that all about? Because you've got an agreement, you announced the launch of a agreement with the Ontario Cannabis Store. Whenever that happens.
No, it happens. It's on. It's happening online.
It's happening online.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Okay.
No, it is.
I know. Can we not? I just think it's hilarious that we couldn't just get it together and have a bunch of stores. It doesn't matter. But Toyko
we will
Smoke,
not comment on
here's
that.
The thing. Don't. I'll comment on it. I've been to a Toyko Smoke.
The coffee shop or the dispensary in Winnipeg?
No. Here's the cool thing. There's a coffee shop here in Toronto, near where my daughter used to live. I go there for coffee around King and one of those places.
Yeah, that's where our office used to be.
And that little Toyko Smoke, in the back now, they're starting to put a few little cannabis products in.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're supposed to.
Well, not cannabis products.
No.
Accessories. They've always had accessories.
Sorry.
So it's always been a coffee shop and accessory shop.
There's no cannabis in them, but accessories are in there. Now, F8's going to do something. What are you doing with Toyko Smoke then?
Well, they're going to be carrying our products. We're really proud of them.
Oh, they're going to be carrying F8 stuff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I really should be listening.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just
excited.
It's okay.
It's okay. Alan Gertner, who started Toyko Smoke, is a friend of ours. Yeah. And it's like Jeannette and I have been in the industry for a long time.
Yes.
Really, it's been almost 5 years for me and a little bit more for her. So we were like a small little group, and all of us are still growing, but Toyko Smoke, we're super excited to be
Well, listen, you guys, I can tell you right now, I've really enjoyed this. And you guys, I think this has been great.
Well, bring us back. We love to hang out.
Are you kidding me? For up to me, we do the show together. But I got Ed, and I got other people.
Ed?
He's around. Don't worry about Ed. I'm doing this.
Okay. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Am I?
Yes.
I don't even know anymore.
It's not an easy industry to cover, for sure, and you really have to delve in, and you are.
Well, thank you, but I have, again, I'm very deep in terms of the cannabis industry as a whole. I've been talking about it on the Humble and Fred show now for years. I've invested in it privately and publicly, and I'm fascinated by it, as you can tell, and I think it was a great opportunity to meet both of you, the co-CEOs of 48 North, lovely Jeannette VanderMarel, if I may say lovely. I say that even if you were a man. I don't see gender. That's who I am now. I just see humans. And Alison Gordon, thank you both very much.
Thank you for having us.
It's been a pleasure.
Great having you here on the Midas letter.